Hey Jazz, what's up?
Hey, how are you?
I'm good, I'm
Oh
good.
my god, it's been so long.
I know,
Oh
right?
my god, you've lost a lot of weight, yeah.
Yeah, you too.
Don't make me introduce yourself.
Oh, hi guys, my name is Penderella.
Yeah, we met each other when I was 13 years old, and we've been through some really up and down times, no?
Hey guys, what's up,
Oh god, this guy's here.
Damn right.
Hi!
Hey girl.
Oh, guys!
Get out of here, bro.
I didn't know he was coming. Okay, hold on. How are you? Yeah, introduce yourself.
Hey guys, this is Lil Pump.
Yeah, we met a couple of years ago, but we've become super thick.
Damn right.
You're always stealing my thunder, bro.
Bro, I'm always with her.
Yeah, sure, you're always with her. Until you came by,
Guys,
I got fancy buttons.
God, these guys are worse than boyfriends also.
Yeah.
It's been a long-standing debate. Pens or pumps? Let's find out. Shush and shush. I love both of you all. Why don't you understand?
Yeah,
we love you
but then
too.
this guy keeps coming in the way.
Well, my buttons are better than him.
I love you. Come on, get it in for a hug. Group hug.
Alright,
Group hug,
group hug.
okay. Push the skinny guy away.
Hey guys, and welcome back to the Diabesties channel. Jazz over here. And as you must be aware, this video is a very highly requested video and a very long-standing debate in the type 1 diabetic community. And that is whether you should use an insulin pump or you should use an insulin pen. So let's break it down. And the thing is that I have used both as being a diabetic. I started off with using insulin injections, and then I moved ahead to using a pump, and then I went back to an injection, and then I went back to a different pump, back to injections, and now currently I'm using an insulin pump. So there is no right and wrong answer in this, and it's totally a matter of preference and what you're more comfortable with. But I definitely recommend that if you have, you can try both and then make your call. But let's get into some of the pros and cons of both an insulin pump and an insulin injection. And let me tell you some of my experiences with both. So, So, as part of any type 1 diabetic treatment, you need to be taking insulin. The way it's administered could be either through what they call an MDI, which is a multiple dose insulin injection therapy, or it could be through pump therapy. So when I got diagnosed when I was 13 years old, I started off with using insulin injections. And I do know that in 2009, the flex pens system came in, but earlier what it used to be was syringes with vial insulin, and you take that in. And then it came to these pens which had cartridges of insulin. And now it comes to this. It comes to what are known as flex pens, and these are discardable. And this is what they look like. And they're super easy to use, and they come like this. And what you do need to put is an needle, which is a great thing I should have actually. This is not planned, see? We do things on the go here at Diabesties. So the insulin comes pre-filled into the pen. The insulin comes pre-filled. And you have a little needle like this. This is a Nova Fine needle, which is a 0.25 mm by 5 mm needle, and it looks like this. And what you need to do is just sort of peel. That happens, you peel it out, and then you stick it in and you twist it on, and there you have it. That's what your insulin injection looks like. You pull this little tab off. It's a really tiny fine needle, and there is a dial over here on this side of the pen, and you just put it to as much as you need, and you sort of push it from here, and insulin falls out. Some of the pros about the insulin injection are that they're much cheaper than the pump, right? So they are economical. Also, they're not that difficult to use, right? A lot of pumps have very technical, buttons and things. So if there's a younger child who is not having a parent constantly administering, I would recommend an insulin injection because it's easier to learn and it's easier to use. Also, I would say easier to carry. They look like two little pens. You can sort of, even if you don't have a bag with you, you can just probably grab one and get on the move. So insulin injections definitely are some of the pros on that. Some of the cons of an insulin injection, starting off with blood sugar fluctuation. Now, you have to have two types of insulin acting when you have on your MDI therapy, and that's a long-acting insulin, or otherwise known as basal insulin, or a short-acting insulin, otherwise known as bolus insulin. The second thing is that fasting, sugars, nighttime fluctuations. I remember with insulin, with an insulin injections, I used to have major fluctuations. That is again a very personal thing. I'm sure a lot of people who use injections have very, very stable sugars, so great on that. But personally for me, I experienced a lot of fluctuations when I was on an insulin injection. Also another con, which is again a personal experience, is that when you have to inject, when you're outside, you have to sort of find a place where you can lift up your shirt and actually inject it in, or on your arm. But it can get a little, I know you shouldn't totally care about this, but I've had people asking me what I've been injecting when I'm out, and I've heard so many people who've told me the same experience of people thinking that they're injecting other things when actually they're just injecting insulin. Another very, very personal experience, and I don't know if this was just my pen or if you face this, leave a comment down below. I was traveling to London and I was on the flight, and I don't know what, I was using the cartridge pen at that time, not one of these flex pens. But these flex pens also sometimes they jam. So I'll have it with me, I'll put it up, but it's just, it freezes. I don't know what it is. Is it air pressure or I don't know what it is, but they've sometimes just jammed up and I've not been able to actually inject. And then I had to change the needle and then it would sort of clear up. So just some things to keep in mind. The second thing is pump therapy. Thak, thak, and thak. So what pump therapy is that it's an insulin pump, and this is the closest thing we have to an artificial pancreas now. But it is that a pump is on your body for X amount of days, and it's administering insulin either through a device or through the pump itself. Now, some of the pros over here are that less needles, always good, right? So yeah, one of the other cons of this is that you have to do constant injection. That means a lot of needles per day. But in an insulin pump, you have one needle for about 3 or 4 days. It depends on the pump you're on, and not too many needles. So that's a really, really big pro for people who are afraid of needles. Though if you're of type 1, you have abdomens of steel, so you don't get to be afraid of needles, right? But that's the first pro. The second pro is you only need one type of insulin if you're on a pump, right? And the beautiful, beautiful pro of an insulin pump is that you can sort of really, really fine tune your basal delivery. So it's little insulin going in throughout the day at different intervals, and the same insulin is going in as your short acting. So what this means is that if you're feeling low and if you've not eaten a meal, you can actually suspend your insulin delivery. So for half an hour, let's say, no insulin is going into your body. This is a great, great pro, because with your doctor, you can fine tweak these things, and you can really, really achieve a lower HbA1c. I found that when I was using a pump. The second thing is insulin delivery is more precise and more accurate when you're using a pump, right? Because you can go up to points. So you can do like 5.01 or 5.5 and really get that precise accuracy of insulin delivery. Some of the cons while you're using a pump is, of course, there is a foreign body on you. So you do feel like a Terminator at times.
Hasta la vista, baby.
But other than that, also when you're dressing up sometimes, you know, there's a pump which is always on your body. There are different types of pumps now. So the Omnipod is the only tubeless pump in the market available, but all the other pumps have a tube attached, and you sort of attach the pump like a pager. I have used one of those. I've used I think a Medtronic pump in the past, and so yeah, some people can say that it is sort of hinders your lifestyle, but now with the technology coming up, it's sort of pretty easy, right? You have a pump on your body, you can swim, you can do stuff other than that. You can just detach your pump. I think, yeah, the AccuCheck and the Medtronic and the T-Slim, I believe. There's also one called Vibe. These are the ones I'm aware of. I'm sure there are more, but they sort of detach when you're swimming, and then you can put them back on. So there is adjustment of lifestyle, definitely, yes, with a pump, but you can have a pretty much normal lifestyle even with a pump. The biggest con of pump therapy is pump failure. And this I stand by, because my experiences have been that the pump has failed twice or thrice, and I have developed diabetic ketoacidosis. This will not ever happen if you're on these babies. So you just need to be a little careful on that. Another con is it's a lot more bulky supplies. Like if I'm going on a trip, I just carry these pens and maybe like 3-4 more for extras. Carrying pump supplies becomes a little cumbersome because they're so heavy and they're so bulky, but you need to carry them as well. So that's all I can think of really for the pros and cons of pumps. I have used both. Personally, very personally for me, my HbA1c came down when I started using a pump than when I was using a pen, but insulin injections are so much more affordable. It's not even funny how expensive pumps are. Love both. It's insulin that's actually what has to go into your body. Doesn't matter the way you deliver it. What has to go in is at the end of it, whether it's MDI or whether it's pump, it's insulin. If you like this video, share, comment, like, subscribe, all that, and definitely follow us on all our social media. It's Diabesties1 on all of it, and live happily, bolus regularly, and as always, see you again in the next video. But be type 1 of a kind. Stay happy, stay healthy, stay cool if it's hot, and stay hot if it's cool. That. And yeah, I will see you again in the next video.